Cheers, man.
Cheers, brother.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
We've been having a little bit of a chat before. We just said
We have.
we've almost done a little pre-podcast, but just
Getting
talking about
excited.
studio and stuff. That's it, man. So, how you been anyway?
Really good, man. It's like
heaps on.
obviously like COVID's been a bit of a testing time for like everyone in our industry. Like you had to figure out how to adapt.
Yeah.
I guess I sort of like I began to do some streams and like do some
Yep.
stuff for our label.
Yeah.
Um,
Because you were streaming heaps. Like you guys were more
Yeah,
than
I
once a
was-
week. Eh? It was.
I
a
was
couple.
pretty much just like going hard because I was like trying to fill in all the time that I would have been playing gigs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd be like sitting at home and I'll go have a stream now. Like,
Yeah.
it was more
just any time. Yeah.
it was more just a fun thing for me, like
Mm.
just to keep me occupied, more so than like trying to build something massive.
Yeah.
But yeah, then like sort of like started to pull back a bit from that just so I could concentrate more on writing and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff.
So that's been going pretty good, eh? We're
It's-
talking about that track. You got a track that came out this week, was
yeah,
it?
yeah, it came out on Thursday on
Yeah.
Hot Sunday,
Mm.
called Took a Bite. And
Yeah.
yeah, like it's so far the response that I've got from like a heap of the local crew has been really good. Like I'm so pumped. Yeah, it's been the first release that have really sort of like it's hit the ground with some momentum.
Yeah,
Which,
yep.
yeah, it's a whole different feeling, I guess. It's
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Sometimes it's just like it takes a little while to get, tracks to work. You do a couple of tracks and it's like no one cares. Like no one even like, and it's the
Yeah.
classic thing of like you put a photo of a dog or something and it gets 1 million likes. And then
Yeah.
you put a track and you're like, I've worked so hard on this.
I've
I'm
done,
so
yeah,
pumped.
put all
This
the
is-"
effort in the world. And
Yeah, and then everyone's like, yeah, just
Cool,
keep
cool,
scrolling.
man.
Yeah. So you've had good response then so far on this one. You've felt, yeah.
Yeah, like, and there's been some like, well, names that I sort of look up to that have like sent me little messages here
Yeah,
and
cool.
there just to like congratulate me on the
Yeah.
on the track and
That's cool, man.
yeah, give me some little bit of extra feedback, which has
Yeah.
been real nice. Like,
Yeah, awesome.
yeah, I always sort of like hunt out like good feedback when I'm working on a track. Really just so that I can like fine tune everything and
Yeah.
but yeah, to have actually people come back to me with
Yeah, that's cool.
that is huge.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And so you were saying when we were speaking before that this track sort of came together really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came together over just one night, really. Like the core of the track. I basically sat down one Saturday night and just started throwing things at the wall. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, this started to come together, and yeah, then Sunday it was a bit of fine tuning, and then yeah, sent it away to for a couple of people to listen to, and
Yeah.
before I knew it, it was getting released.
Getting released. Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, that's it. Like you're saying, like sometimes the tracks they just happen, sort of like it's just they come together really quickly, and then they're finished. Whereas I think you were saying that sometimes when you let them, or when they do take a while and stuff, you sometimes lose a bit of motivation or
the
inspiration.
creativity sort of like you hit a wall, and it's so hard to overcome that hurdle at times.
Yeah.
Like there was 2 tracks that pre-COVID I'd been working on for a little bit already. And I ended up starting to do some production lessons with Kyle Watson.
Yep.
Through his Patreon thing over
Yep.
COVID. So I was like sending him to him, getting some feedback, like working on it. And by the end of it, I was kind of like, I said to him when I'd like doing the one-on-one chat, I'm like, I think I'm binning him. Like, I've done as much as I can and they're just not working. He's like, just use them as a stepping stone. And I was like, oh, sweet. And that was pretty much when Took a Bite sort of happened.
Yeah. So you just got that, you like that's it. You always write tunes and sometimes they never get released, or
Yeah.
sometimes, like I'd say most times. What do you reckon? Like 9 out of 10, you wouldn't. I suppose it depends how far through, but I reckon it's somewhere in that realm for me anyway.
Yeah, I reckon it's probably a good 50% that will continue and get finished.
Yeah.
Other ones will just get put to the side and
I'll usually finish them, but it's like I'll be like, nah, I'm not gonna send this to anyone. It's not really that good, like But I think it's good to like finish the track. But yeah, I find that I
like to put them aside when I've got to a point where I just can't get anything, and then sometimes I'll go back to it and just open it up and have this new train of thought, and it'll flow together.
Yeah, when you've
But
had a break from it for a while, and
yeah,
then you just like you listen to it, and or tracks you've written ages ago, and you go back and listen, you're like, oh, that's actually a really cool song. Like, I
yeah.
should like finish that. Like, it's that's always real interesting to go back and look at some of your old stuff. Eh?
Oh man, looking at the progression of like your production
Mm,
is such a crazy thing. Like even the
yeah,
tracks that I have released, I kind of sit back now and I'm like, oh,
some of the early ones or something.
don't really wish I released that,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like it kind of got me over that nervousness of releasing music.
yeah,
And I guess sort of that was where the idea of starting sort of kind of music sort of kicked off as
yeah.
well. Like,
The label. Cause so how long? You said it's been basically a
yeah,
year
it
now.
was, yeah. So it's been a year as an actual full proper label.
Yep,
It was the 5th of October.
yep,
So that happened.
yeah, yeah. Cool.
But
And so how many releases have you guys done now on
we're up
Sorta
to
Kinda?
10.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's been some good stuff, and a lot of sort of local
Yeah,
like
it's
guys
all
and girls and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, so far we've had stuff from Heiser, who's based down on the Goldie,
Yep.
and Just Jacks.
Hmm.
And also Scrix, who's up
Yep.
here as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, it's been good. It's been good to support locals. Like
Yep.
there's so much local talent getting around, and
Mm.
yeah, like
In Brisbane, especially. I always say that.
100%,
Yeah.
man. Like, but I guess there is everywhere. It's just we're here, we see all that
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time. But Australia really is producing so many good artists. It's
Mm.
not funny,
Yeah.
and like
And they
this,
always have.
yeah,
For ages. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Like,
Yeah.
and I guess like I just want to really help push good music, like
Mm.
stuff that me and Sarah are vibing. Like that's one thing with the label. We sort of agreed that we both have to be 100% sold on it. Both
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
It's both like both of us want to have to get up and dance when we're
Yeah.
listening to
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
track, like
It's
on
got to.
demo.
Yeah. It can't be just like one of yous is like, oh, I'm not really sold on it, sort of thing. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
you've got
like
to
if we're
both love
not
it.
both sold on it, then that's it's not something you can push. Then
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you've got to.
You gotta like be excited about it as well.
Yeah,
You don't want to be releasing stuff for people and be like, oh, I don't really like it. Like
yeah.
that kind of defeats the purpose, I think. So
But yeah, we've been pretty lucky, like with the demos that we have had sent to us.
yep,
Like the like it hasn't been a great deal of people, but yeah, it's been good stuff that's sort of
yeah,
been sent to us so
yeah,
far.
cool.
And so
That's
like
awesome. And so you are open to like other cities and places. It's
yeah,
just
for
that
sure.
so far, like your local scene, everyone sort of knows
Yeah,
about it more.
everyone gets talking.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
cool. But you are, like so for people from Melbourne, Sydney,
for
or
sure, man, for sure.
overseas want to
Yeah.
sign. So and the vibe for people who maybe haven't listened to any of the releases, give everyone an idea of like what the
So yeah, it's
what you
pretty
would say.
much like, well, me and Sarah both are house heads,
Yeah,
through and through. Both love our tech.
yep,
And so that's sort of where we dive into. But we're pretty much open to anything. Like Heiser's track that he released was this real funky, like sort of disco-y house
yep,
vibe. Like just had this awesome vocal to it, just
yeah,
sold us instantly.
yeah,
Whereas like Just Jax's was like a bit heavier, a bit
yeah,
more chunky.
yeah, yeah. Bit of a
Same
tech
same
house
with
sort of,
Scrix's,
banger.
yeah. So like we're pretty open to anything
Yeah.
like that comes our way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said, it's all about the vibe of the tune, and
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
doesn't matter who it's from. It's just as long as it sounds good, really.
yeah. And so, but still in the like house sort of realm of tunes. It's not like is it gonna do
We've
trap or anything? Like, would you
well
be open to that?
we've
Or
talked about opening up to like other directions
yeah,
as well. Like
maybe in the future or something.
yeah, but I guess it just depends on what does come our way.
Yeah.
Like I've got my mate that we were talking about earlier that he and I were working in the studio down in Byron,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, we pretty much did this little cool like live set where I busted out my 808, reamped it to his guitar amp.
Yeah,
He like had this like acoustic riff that he was playing, and yeah, he's
yeah,
like a singer-songwriter, so he just sort of
mm.
like went hard.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, like even that sort of vibe, we might sort of like release a few bits and pieces here and there just to
yep.
see how it goes. And
Just play it by ear. Yeah,
yeah.
I suppose if whoop,
Oh.
I almost fucked it up. I suppose if like you guys got to love it though.
Yeah,
You know, if you guys aren't really into those other genres, I suppose, then it's going to be hard
it's a
for
little
you
bit
to
harder,
both love
yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah,
But, like, in saying that, like, her and I both have a super diverse, taste in music as
yeah,
well. So that, I guess, yeah, that's why we sort of opened that conversation up
yeah,
to, well, in the future, should we go down
yeah,
all these
yeah. Try
others?
some other things, yeah,
Yeah.
and just see
Like,
what's.
I look at, like, labels like et cetera, where they've,
Yeah,
had the releases of Fisher, but they've also had, like, I guess, Rufus and all that sort of stuff,
yeah,
and, like,
so, yeah, pretty diverse and stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So, like, I guess sort of that's my thoughts in the direction,
yeah,
like, stay open, but have our
yeah,
sort
yeah.
of main
Yeah, and
stuff that we
people sort
push.
of will know, so far that if you've
Mm.
listened to the tracks, like you sort of get the idea that it is that techie house sort of, or disco sort of vibe. But yeah, I think in the future that's something you guys could open up to,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
really try. So, so what, like, how did the label start then? Like, was it like you said, it was you wanted to release some
Yeah.
stuff and so you and Sarah are already friends and stuff. So how did you guys sort of,
Well,
come up with
I'd
the.
sort of had a bit of like the idea to kick off the label, so I'd sort of started doing bits and pieces, fishing around for where we are going to get it to like distributed out through and whatnot, and
Yep.
doing all that back end research side of things. I'm not like super business minded, whereas Sarah has a bit of a business
Yep.
background. Um, so like, yeah, when she had a track back and forth,
Yep.
that yeah, she'd finished up and it was ready to go, and was looking to try and get it signed.
Yep.
And I guess the conversation just sort of happened between us, and I
Yep.
was like, well, I'm sort of looking at starting this label. How about you come on board with me? We'll just see
Yep.
how it goes. And yeah, so like back and forth was the first release as the label properly.
Yep.
Like I'd released a couple other tracks of my own
Yeah. Yep.
earlier, but it wasn't like the big rolling start
Yeah. Yep.
to it.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, so that was kind of the first one that we were really like pushing for the label.
Mm.
Um, which like it went alright.
Yep.
My Mind, which was the collab that her and I did,
Yep.
that managed to sneak into ARIA charts for a few weeks
Yeah.
there.
Cool. Yeah, I
Um,
remember seeing that. That's sick.
yeah, it was kind of went for the Michael Bibby kind of vibe on the like track
Yeah.
itself,
Yeah. Yep.
and then had like Sarah do the vocals. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but like it was cool to see like something like that sort of that was a collab like sneak its way into the
Yeah,
charts.
do
And
pretty well. Yeah. So what was its highest
highest spot it got
spot?
to, that one got to 77.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm yet to have a track crack to 50, but
Yeah. Yeah.
see how we
Getting
go.
closer, getting closer. Hey, mate, still, getting into the ARIA charts at all is always great because then people at least see it.
Yeah, well,
You
that's
know.
it's been a really cool thing with like starting the label is we've Just Jax's last track, it managed to sneak in there as well.
Yep.
Sarah's had a couple of other tracks that have got in there. I think the highest
cool.
was 29 with Got Me Feeling.
Yep.
But yeah, so like that was huge for us, like as a label to see
Yeah.
things actually starting to like people are getting behind the stuff we're releasing. So
Yeah,
like
that's it. Because then they are because like otherwise it wouldn't be in the ARIA charts.
exactly,
Yeah,
man. Yeah. So it's like the hard work is showing there that we're, I
Yeah.
guess, finding music that we like and putting it out there, and people are supporting it, which
Yeah.
is unreal. Like
Yeah,
it's
man.
a good feeling. Like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, especially when you're doing it all like yourselves as well. Like you're doing the label, and then if your track's on the label, it's like, well, I'm actually doing everything here. Like the label,
yeah.
So that's cool that it's getting some success and stuff. And so is there any other future plans for it that you guys have coming up? Like any cool releases or things you're looking at, or
Well,
compilations or anything like that? Is there any
yeah,
plans for something?
I've actually I just finished up another track a couple weeks ago
Yep.
that yeah, we locked in yesterday for release.
On Sorta Kinda?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, I wanted to because it's been a while since I've actually put something out on the label.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to put something back out on my own label.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so like it's pretty much just a follow up to Talk About,
Yep.
just to keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, that's it.
and then Sarah has just sent away another track to be mastered. So
Yeah, cool.
yeah, it's
Awesome.
bit
And I
more
think
of
you
a
said
house
you
of
got
one.
one. You got a master back just recently that we're going to listen to afterwards.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
that's the
one
one
we
you're
just
talking
locked in.
about.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. So that one, is there? Have you got any ideas on release dates for that, or in the next
That's gonna be
month or something? What?
November 16, I think it was
Okay.
that we
Yeah,
locked
yeah.
that
So you
in.
sort of thought about when you're
Yeah,
going to release that one.
yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
cool.
fully locked it in yesterday,
Yeah,
just to get it all happening.
all sorted. Yeah, that's it. And so, with music, then I think you were mentioning before that you were doing. I don't know if it was now. I can't remember if it was before we started or not. But you're doing audio
Mm.
engineering, or your audio degree. So where are you doing? Where have you done that or are doing that at?
Yeah, so I'm down at SAE in Byron.
Yep.
Yeah, so I've been doing that for just over a year and a half now.
Yep.
Although half of this year's been at home, thanks
Yeah.
to COVID.
That's it. Yeah. I suppose especially to get down to Byron because it's across the
Yeah,
border. Yeah.
it was definitely a pain in the ass for
Yeah.
sure.
That does. But I've heard that the Byron SAE has some really awesome gear.
Dude,
I think Johnny,
yeah.
who owns a studio with us, was saying they've got like a big,
They've got the
Neve desk or
yeah,
SSL or
yeah.
something.
So they've got
It's like a
Neve Neve 75 custom, SSLK, duality, like because
money, like so much
oh
money.
man, like apparently the studio out the front used to be Studio 301 down in Sydney, so the duality studio used to be down in Sydney.
In Sydney,
Yeah, so that's like its own little standalone building, like it's absolutely on point. And then they've got a mastering suite in there as well, so like yeah, it's pretty cool.
Good, pretty good sound and stuff. So you get to go in there and use some of that stuff for tracks and things like that as well.
Yeah,
and that's so good.
It was it's been a really cool experience. Like I never thought I'd go back to studying like after finishing high school.
Yeah,
like I'm 33 now, so it's definitely been a few years since any kind of education for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, my girlfriend, she she just finished her degree last week actually. But she kind of put the idea in my head and I mulled it over for a little bit and just ummed and ahed, and then I was just like, nah, stuff it. I'm gonna quit my day job that I had, go full-time DJing, go start studying that, and just go all in.
Yeah.
Which it's not the first time that I've gone all in on something.
Yeah. That's a common sort of thing.
Like,
with yourself. I'm kind of like that as well. Yeah.
I did the same thing when I used to wakeboard as well. Like,
you were just like went all in on wakeboarding.
Or all in on wakeboarding. So I like was working on boats at the time, like detailing boats and stuff. And then one day I was just like, nah, I'm done. Got a job at one of the wakeboarding factories, and then like the warehouses, and then just started writing every comp that I could, and like traveling around. Went over to the States a couple times. Went to Germany. So
you went all right, and you're all right then at wakeboarding.
Had a good crack, that's for sure.
So what age was this? The wakeboarding stuff?
Oh, I started wakeboarding when I was 20, and then I pretty much wrapped up after my second knee, which was sort of my 30th. Yeah,
so about 10 years.
It was 10 years solid that I was riding. I still ride here and there, but like it hurts now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that common, like injuries and stuff in wakeboarding? Because I've never really
knees and
I'd imagine knees would
for
be.
sure. That's like the biggest one. But back's starting to be noticed by all the dudes that were the generation before me. They're all like
now they're like got sore backs.
Yeah, like there's a couple of them that I know that have like had spine fusions and stuff just from like the impact all the time. Like so I'm kind of worried about that.
Yeah. Well, man, just look after yourself now, and you should be fine. I think. That's really cool though, the wakeboarding stuff. How with the competitions and stuff, is that I've never seen a wakeboarding comp. So it's to do with tricks and execution of skills? And things?
So like, well, I rode a little bit of boat and mostly cable wakeboarding. So you've got like the rails and the ramps and that sort of stuff that you can hit, as well as you can sort of load up the line and do some like tricks off the flat water. So like it all comes together with execution and style and all those little boxes that you got to tick. And it's all judged. So different people, different day different
That's
judging.
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like any sport that has judges like that. Like
For sure.
it's always going to be a little bit dependent on the judges and things.
Who knows who the best?
That's it. And so with that, when you said like the cable stuff, so I'm imagining the boat. You said like boat one is obviously being towed behind a boat. And the cable one is like just like
it's like a big cableway. So like there's like 5 odd towers, and there's like the cableway that goes around just in a circle basically.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't stop, but it just like hooks on to the rope that's at the dock and then pulls you off the dock and off you go.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
That's like how long has that been around for though? Because like is that something that has been around for like forever or
it's
not forever? But,
like the Germans started the whole cable thing off, and it started with like the ski lifts. That's what the actual cableway is.
Yeah.
But it'd be 20 odd years.
Yeah.
Cool.
So the last sort of 20 years. Yeah, because it's something that you see, more common now around. They've got them, all different places and stuff. Yeah.
Well, like Australia's got like 6 or 7 cables, but you go to somewhere like Germany, which is tiny, like this tiny little country, and they've got like 80 cables.
Yeah.
And half of the year they're frozen.
Yeah. I suppose you can maybe ski on it then.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Like they were telling me that they play ice hockey on there when it's all frozen over.
Just find another use for it.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sure we can use it for something. Still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool, man. I didn't know that about you. That you were into wakeboarding and stuff. And so, is there like some national sort of competition per se, or it's more just
it used to be it's
like
sort
a
of
circuit or whatever they call it. Like
they used to have like a bit of a circuit thing going on.
Yeah.
There's still like some small grassroots comps, but there's so much time and effort that goes into like all the comps. It's hard to get people to, I guess, get to every single event. And so like, whereas
it needs to be televised, then it'll be, you know what I mean? If you could make it televised and
back in the day, like before I actually started, like all the guys that I know that are like that little bit older than me, like they were in the prime of like wakeboard life where they were getting paid real good. It was getting televised. It was in the extreme games and all that sort of stuff. So like,
that's cool.
Yeah,
that would have been sweet. I mean, I'd love to watch some of it. Even like, I don't think I've never seen a wakeboarding comp.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to, it'd just be cool to go and to see that, and imagine you could like DJ at it, like, you know what I mean? It could be a whole day kind of thing.
Yeah, well, like my old boss, he now has the Gold Coast Wake Park down on the coast, obviously.
Yeah.
But whenever they have like a big event, he's always like got me on the phone. Yep, Damo, want you to come down.
Yeah, I think maybe I've seen you DJing at one or something, or like a little bit of a live stream at one, or you.
Yeah, they love it. Like
Insta story or something. Like Instagram stories.
It's good because I can get. It's one of those like events where I can go and just play what I want.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Really,
it's a good time.
It's just sort of like some music in the background for people so it's not just a boring fucking.
And everyone loves it, so it's just like adds to it. So it's
that's cool, man. That's so when you said that you go out sometimes and still have a crack, is that on the cable stuff or with the boats? On the boat or what? A bit of both.
Yeah,
whatever you can.
I haven't really ridden boat in probably a good 3 or 4 years now. Like the impact behind the boat is just that little bit more.
Yeah.
And because now I've got 2 dodgy knees.
Yeah.
It's not so great.
So was it so both knees? You've done both.
Done both of them. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. Like, if you've done one twice or something, it's like it's not so bad.
But it was like 4 years to the day. Really? Not even kidding. Like it was the 18th of December, both my knees, but 4 years apart.
Jeez, that's
I'm scared to do anything that day now.
Yeah. That's you don't do anything. You stay home and stay in bed. Yeah, that's hectic. That's awesome, man. That you still to get out. And what did you like? What was your favorite or the one you were best at? Was it boat or cable? Like what one was you preferred?
I was definitely better at cable.
Yep.
I spent way more time there.
Yep.
Like I was able to do stuff behind the boat, but my bag of tricks was definitely bigger on a cable, that was for sure.
Yeah. I suppose it's whatever you practice more of, kind of, isn't it? It'd be interesting to see if there was there any comps where it's like you have to do both and you sort of average the score?
They've done
that'd be interesting.
they've
Like, 'cause
done
you
that
have
sort
to,
of thing over in
yeah,
the States.
because you got to do both. Then you got to be
Yeah.
kind of good at both. Like, you can't be just really good at one. You sort of got to
Yeah.
you have to do the other one too. Yeah.
And because it is a bit of a different feel.
Yeah.
Like obviously being on the boards, like fairly similar, but the way you approach a lot of tricks, it's like a whole different angle.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is an interesting way to go between the two.
Yeah.
Like I know
definitely.
that when I first started riding a lot more cable and then I'd go back to boat, you'd go to do certain things and you'd just get absolutely pumped
Yeah.
purely because you'd approach it like you were still riding at the cable.
Yeah. It's not the same. Yeah.
Nah, doesn't go well.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't work that way. Yeah.
If you ever get a chance, YouTube Damo's front edge.
Damo's front edge.
Yeah,
Right.
it was like I was learning a Rayleigh, which is like a Superman thing, off the water.
Yeah.
This is like years and years ago, and just got absolutely pumped.
Yeah.
But it got caught on video, and
Yeah. It's a great.
it's a
video.
great watch.
Yeah. Good content. Good content. Yeah, that's awesome, man. And so how did you get into music then? Like, was this something you were doing or you were into while you were wakeboarding, or
Well,
what?
Like when I was like heaps younger, like still in primary school,
Yep.
I like played drums in the band.
Yep.
I
Drummer.
was terrible at every other instrument, but I could
They're like,
somehow hold.
put you on drums.
Yeah, I could hold some sort of a beat apparently.
That's real handy now, though. I'm sure.
Yes, it's so handy. Like it's yeah, definitely that's where I start with when I'm making any beat now, is like it's the drum track first,
Yeah.
and then I'll build off that. But yeah, so like I've always had this really diverse like thing of what I listen to.
Yep.
Like my parents listened to like Pink Floyd and David Bowie and like all that sort of stuff. Like it was just massively wide range.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess it was just like I everything I've always done has always had a music part to it.
Yeah.
Like before I'd play footy, I used to have my headphones on listening to tracks. Before I'd go ride in a comp, I'd like shut off and listen to music.
Mm-hmm.
It was always just there.
Always a similar music to what you're into now, though, or different stuff back
everything,
then?
man. Like, I was that kid that listened to old school, like, well, it wasn't old school then, like hip hop and like R&B and stuff, like Tupac, Biggie, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Eminem, Dr. Dre, like, but then also listened to all of the electro house stuff that was starting to roll through in the 2000s, like, and
got into that stuff.
So like when I turned 18, that was sort of became the soundtrack to my life.
Yeah,
and then
you're going out. And,
it was like, oh, the
played.
party time. Like, this is great.
Yeah.
Had like this big stereo system in my car. So
Yeah.
it was like,
for sure.
whatever had the most bass.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You got to have that bass, especially in the car.
Yeah. But like after all that and after wakeboarding, I did my first knee, and that was when I sort of started to take a bit more interest in like, well, I've always wanted to like try DJing, and ended up moving in with a dude who like used to DJ down on the coast.
Yep.
And you know, he sort of gave me some pointers here and there, and then I went off and did Your Shot. So that was like 2015. I did Your Shot.
2015,
yeah.
So you're in the 2015 cohort.
Yep.
How was that then? How did you go with that?
That was unreal. That was where the name sort of kind of came from.
Yeah.
So me and my mate, Mitch Kuhn, we both did it together.
Yep.
And played like the last set before the finals on the Sunday.
Yeah.
So it was like fully rammed in the courtyard. So it was pretty epic.
Pretty awesome, yeah.
It was, up until I played Splendor, that was like the biggest crowd I'd ever played in front of. I was just like, this is sick.
Yeah.
But so like it all sort of stemmed from that. And it was just, once I got a taste for it there and played in front of that, I was like, that's
it. You get that taste, eh?
I'm like, this is me now. I'm like, what better job could I have picking music while I'm working?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And what kind of music did you play then in that Your Shot set? Was it?
It was more like future house, like the old sound of future house, like gritty sort of sound before it transferred to like big room sound. Like, it's
I think I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the Charmy and
that kind of
sort
vibe,
stuff.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And that would have been pretty fun, man, doing it, like, like you said, when it's rammed right on the, because it's right before sort of the final or
Yeah,
whatever.
everyone's sort of still there hanging out. Everyone's like had a few drinks now. They're
Everyone's,
all
pretty
excited
loose.
as.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And so when, so that's where you learnt to DJ and stuff, and then how did you, what happened after that for you? Like, how did you sort of get your first gigs and sort of transition from doing your shot into, maybe playing some gigs and doing some stuff?
Obviously living with my old roommate LP, like he had a heap of contacts on the coast, and so like he got hit up for a few gigs that asked if he could fill, pretty much.
Yeah.
But he had his residency that he was doing, so he sort of was like, "Oh, I've got Damo. Like, if you want to take him."
Yeah.
And so I started playing like the odd gig at Central Lounge Bar in Surface, and then ended up. LP and I had a radio show for a little while together. And
was that on
Radio Metro?
Metro? Yeah. What was that one called?
That was called Arctic Zoo.
Okay. When was this?
That was
just trying to think if I've.
That would have been 2016 that we started that one.
That's a while ago.
Yeah.
Many beers since then. Yeah. Too many big nights and beers since then, yeah.
But so we had that for a while, which because we had that, I started to get some other gigs here and there, like around the place.
Yep.
And I ended up, after he'd sort of finished up wanting to do the radio show anymore, and I took it on to myself, and ended up at Rattles. So that was where my residency at Rattles started.
Yep.
And I was been there for ages.
Yeah. You still play there?
I haven't been back there since post COVID,
yeah.
But
I mean, I think they've only opened once, haven't they?
Yeah, they've been open for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah,
But I think they're only opening sort of like upstairs.
Yeah, I think I saw that. Actually, I've never been to Rattles when it's open, but I went the other week when Bill Durry was doing the thing, and when Graveyards played Storm.
Yeah.
So went down there and hung out with all Java and all the boys.
All the Friday crew.
Yeah, all the crew. So that was a cool little vibe. It was interesting sitting in the downstairs, where the main dance floor is, and that.
Yeah.
Like, just sitting on the at a chair, like at a little chair,
just hanging out on the light up dance floor.
Yeah, and there's like 4 or 5 of us there,
Yeah.
just listening and having a few drinks and stuff. And I think we even got some burgers or some shit. We're like eating and some just hanging out on the dance floor.
Things you'd never see in a nightclub.
That's it, man. Like, that's what I mean. It was weird because it was like there's literally no one like in there. It was just had the dance floor going and music pumping, and we're all just like there was no dancing. We didn't dance at all.
No
there was definitely no dancing.
Well, you can stand now. You can
you
stand
can
and tap your toes.
Yeah, there's a bit of wiggle room in there, I think. There's but I haven't been out since they've said you can stand. So I'm interested to see what I mean, I went out before they said you couldn't stand and drink. And then now haven't been out since they've done.
Yeah.
So have you been out much during this COVID time to any venues or anything and checked them out?
I haven't really been too much. Like that's something that I tend to do is I sort of hide away in my studio a lot more than I go out these days.
I'm pretty much the same. But but go out every now and again just to see people or see something going on.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like I played on Queen's birthday weekend, which was the first weekend that people could stand up again. So that was nice to play to standing up people.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
There was no dancing, I swear.
Yeah. Definitely no dancing.
No dancing at all. But that was an awesome night. And it was good to just sort of be back behind the decks and playing a fun set.
Yeah.
But so other than that, I popped out on Thursday, like Thursday just gone. Me and Sarah were going to go celebrate by getting tattoos for the 1 year for the label, but everywhere was closed. So we just kind of popped into a couple of places that were open just to see what everyone was doing.
Yeah.
But it's just a different vibe at the moment. Like it's not.
It's different, isn't it? It's interesting.
Yeah,
it's weird, but it's and it's crazy too. Like in Brisbane, man, to get in places is just hectic. It takes forever.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, and social distance lines, like it's
yeah, but you've also got to, you got to do the check-in thing with the code, and I think on the like stupid move on our part, but on the Sunday when it was the long weekend,
Yep.
we went from here. We went to Felons, like like dinner time basically. So like probably the worst time to be trying to go to somewhere on the water.
Yeah.
That's really like a nice like venue like that. And so I think we waited for over an hour in the line.
Oh,
like
wow.
just to get but we got halfway. We're like, well, we can't leave now. We've
We've
half an
committed.
hour.
We're
Like,
there.
everywhere else is going to be ages to get in anyway. So
Yeah.
we'll just go in here.
And that's become the thing. It's like you're standing in line. Yeah, okay, we've committed to hanging out here now. So like, if we go anywhere else, we're gonna have to start that hour wait again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's insane.
I even went to a few, like a month or whatever ago. I went to Prohibition, and I got there at 9.
Yeah.
Thinking, oh sweet,
sweet.
like I should be able to get straight in because at 9 o'clock in Prohibition, there's like 10 people in there usually or something. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's quiet then. Man, the line was up to the corner in the valley, and I had to wait like half an hour to get in at 9 o'clock.
It's probably the only good thing that's going to come from COVID is like people will probably be keen to get out a little earlier. So like,
that's
if you are playing that opening set, like for a lot of people,
dude, it was packed in there.
You'll be like playing to like a full room,
an actual room. Yeah, it was packed, man. Like, so yeah, I just went in there and was hanging out with Lurk in the booth, and you can still perform. So
yeah,
that's it's not dancing; it's a performance.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so we were up there just hanging out. So it's definitely interesting and different. You got to make people not dance, but still have a great night.
Keep the vibe up.
Keep the vibe. Yeah, it's like
keep people buying drinks and stuff.
It's interesting, interesting vibes. But I think one really cool thing that I've seen come out of it in terms of events and nights and things is Prohibition. Sorry, not Prohibition. Sub Rosa's doing the Dark Kitchen nights, and that's essentially just producer nights. So it's they play all their own. It's just people playing their own music. There's no playing other people's music. So it's really cool, man, because
I hadn't seen that yet.
It's awesome, man. They've done I went when they did like a housey sort of one. They've done like a trance one, I think. I'm not sure if it's psytrance or trance. But I think because it's people haven't been out just DJing. They've had to work on music. So then a lot of people are like, oh man, I've actually like they actually when they start working on music properly, then they're like, I've actually got all these tracks. I should just finish these and I could play a whole set. And sort of like, and now it's like, so they just sort of did the first one, and then I was just like, man, this is awesome. Like, this is great. Like, just to go out and hear people's music and, the local talent and stuff. Really.
Yeah, see what everyone's been working on over that time, and like, it was even like the other day I was sort of like, before me and Sarah had the back-to-back set that we had on the Queen's birthday weekend.
Yeah,
I was sort of like, oh shit, we've got enough like music now that we have a catalog of stuff we could play for the like from the label and stuff we've both been making, and like, so it was like cool to be able to have just a folder of stuff that was our stuff that we could play as well as other people's stuff. But like it was a different feeling, like being able to go into a gig and playing a bunch of your own tracks.
Yeah, that's cool.
As well as just like other like good tunes.
Mate, you'll have to hit them up for a Dark Kitchen one time. And
maybe
because they are pretty. I'm pretty sure Rob's sort of like, if you've got enough tracks, hit us up, kind of thing. For anyone, because it's not like DJs where there's a million. You know what I mean? There's not a million people.
There's only a handful of people that
who can actually play a whole set with their own music and have it like decent. So I think that's really cool. Another little cool thing that's maybe come from COVID. So you'll have to.
I think it's gonna it's definitely gonna separate the the guys that were I just want to be a resident like weekly DJ to the guys that want to sort of take their stuff to the next level and bust out of the mold, I guess you could say, and push themselves.
And I think the people who are, you know, like yourself and like so many other people that are doing stuff in COVID, that's I think people forget that like everyone's watching. So it's like you see people who have maybe just like gone, oh, I'm not going to do anything. It's like, well, you know that everyone's watching and seeing that you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And then people are like seeing, and even people who are doing like the wrong shit, like, you know, fines and stuff, people are watching that shit too, you know, like, so it's interesting. I think people forget that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like I know, like when I stopped streaming and I sort of went quiet for a little bit.
Yeah.
I, you know, spoke to a few people and they're like, oh, how come you're not streaming anymore? Like, just wanting to know like what you're up to and doing, like if you're all
something
good.
Going on, you're all good.
Yeah. And but yeah, like just the fact that I took that step back so that I could fully focus on the music.
Do other stuff.
Like you just sort of change that mind frame, and then because people don't think you're doing anything, they just sort of like put you on the back burner, and then all of a sudden when you start telling everyone about what's going on, it's sort of like, everyone like perks up and they're like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah exactly. And that's been the same like for me, like, you know, with this podcast and everything. I've spent so much more time on this in the last year, and I haven't written a lot of music, you know, whereas lately I'm trying to get back in and get back into the music, you know, start writing again, and stuff. So, you know, I think that's something you got to do though. You know, you've got to choose where to put the focus on and stuff. So it's cool that you recognized that you wanted to do that and did it. So, and you've enjoyed that so far, like writing tunes and stuff.
It's exactly the place where I'm sort of like my direction in my head sort of heading. Like I've got so many things that I want to tick off. And like, I guess I've always sort of been really sort of goal orientated in my own mind. Like I'll have a whole lot of things that I want to tick off, and some of so far out of reach that I'm like, and I'm like so critical of myself because I'm like falling short of it. And it's hard to get past that too. Like I'm lucky that I got my missus who's like so good with like changing the way that I'm sort of thinking about things. But yeah, I fully just went mind blanked. And
you were just talking about like production and loving, getting back into it and doing that. And that's what you want to do, kind of thing.
Pretty much, man. But yeah, like I was saying, like there's so many different plans that I have. Like I want to do my own music. I want to push the label, and like I really wanted to break the mold in being just a consistent resident weekly DJ. Like I love doing that. Like I was playing every weekend, but like wanting to get out of like the coast and Brizzy, and like I went up to Cairns last year and played up in Cairns.
Did a bit of touring and stuff. You
enjoyed
that then?
Yeah, it was rad. It was played at the Salt House up there, which is like pretty chilled vibe, but like it was just something different. It was cool.
Go somewhere else and do something.
So I want to try like I was talking to a couple of boys that are like based down in Melbourne, and I want to try and get a couple of gigs down there in Sydney and whatnot, and you know, take things to the next level. And I guess that's where the music comes into it. Like
if you want to do that,
and like I love writing. I'm really enjoying love writing music. So it's all sort of just working really well, and it's just, I guess everything just is falling into place at the right times.
Yeah, that's it. It's you've got to if you love the actual, I always say if you love the thing, the process of it, and not the result, that's you're always going to do like way better.
For sure.
You know, actually enjoying, like you said, writing music and making, and when you're in the studio. And I would tell people like one of my favorite things is when you've got some drums going or something, you've written your drums, and then you like write like a bass line, and it's just like, you know, you're just like, oh, I just made that. And you're like, you play it and put it on loop, and you just sort of like stand up in the studio by yourself.
I think I've nailed this.
By yourself, and you're just like, oh yeah. Like you just do a little dance, like, you know, little dance or something.
You know, like, you're on something when you're like sitting there and you're bopping your head away, listening it back, and you're like, this is good. This is good. I like this. Just got the groove happening. Like,
no, that's one of my favorite things, man, is when, you know, when that happens. Like, even I probably wouldn't say over DJing. You know, DJing's pretty fun, and you get the audience reaction and the energy, and it's pretty pretty great, feeling. But that's definitely one that's up there for me when I, come up with that. And then I like bounce it down and put headphones on and just have a listen on headphones too, because I know what my fucking headphones sound like and that, and I have a little listen on there and then be like, oh yeah, that's sick. Like,
start listening to it on every other device that you've got kicking around the house.
Do the phone test. Well, actually, interestingly enough, we just got a because we at the studio here we've got the plugin alliance bundle. So the subscription, so you literally get every plugin on Plugin Alliance.
Yeah.
So when they bring new ones out, you can try them.
Yeah.
We just started testing this new one, and it's I can't remember the name now, which kind of defeats the purpose of telling everyone about it. But essentially what it does is it shows you what it will do to your track, the normalization on all the different platforms.
Yeah.
And then you can also put like a filter over it to hear what it will sound like on your phone, on earbuds, and it actually will
That's cool.
change it. So you can actually sort of preview it on your studio speakers, what it will sound like. Man, it's interesting listening to the different like Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, like what they do with the normalization. Like
like the loudness penalties on
how much softer it is, because you flick between them, man, and it's like Tidal is got the best.
Yeah. Tidal like fully goes like hard when it comes to like the quality of sound.
Yeah,
whereas like it's like Spotify, if you don't have that 1 dB of headroom, then they compress it down and like all of a sudden everything gets real muddy and
it's interesting because like you put it on you listen to Tidal, it's like real loud, and then you put it on like the Spotify one and it's like the volume just goes right down, and you can actually see the volume on your meters and stuff, so you can actually see like, oh man, they really do turn it down a lot.
There's a website called Loudness Penalty. Which I got from one of my lecturers, and you can throw your track in there, and they come back with how much all those sites will turn it down. And you're just like, oh, that kind of hurts. Like,
did all this work to make it loud? And they're gonna just turn it down. I suppose it's different. Like, if you are writing club tracks,
for sure,
you know that you want it to be big and loud for the club. Like, it's not, you're not really writing it for people to listen to on earphones and headphones like through Spotify. But
I guess like when it comes to that, you're almost got to have it mastered at 2 different levels so that you have a quality in someone's car or on someone's headphones, and then quality when you're in the club.
The radio edit, and then the extended one, which I saw you had on the new track.
On Took a Bite,
yeah. So did you was that something that the label Hot Sunday wanted you to do, or
they hit me up and said, do I want to do a radio edit? Obviously like the extended one is like 5-6 minutes long or something like that, so it's kind of long, but just for the radio edit, it just sort of kept it a little bit more tight, so the vocals came in earlier and all that, but had like Klaus do the Klaus Hill do the mastering on that. Like he is unbelievable. But
wizard. A wizard.
Oh, absolutely, man. Like before I'd used him before, like I'd had everyone tell me like how good he was, and it's just
I haven't used Klaus yet, but I've spoken to him about doing some stuff. He's like, definitely.
He's quite literally like whoever, like all these, like all the crew that I know that are well above me. That's who they were sending their stuff through to.
It's interesting. So. I've heard of some other guys who are really good too. I actually have used in the past Nicholas Di Lorenzo from Panorama Mixing and Mastering in Melbourne.
Oh yeah.
But he does a range of different stuff. But he uses a heap of analog gear as well.
Oh, cool.
So you get that
just get that warmth,
little bit of analog flavor in there. Yeah. So but he's really like consultative on stuff. He's like,
cool.
I can just send him stuff now while I'm writing.
Yeah.
And be like, what do you think? And he's like, it's cool. Like, you should like try to, you know what I mean? So he's someone who's not, it's not like you just send him the mix and then he sends the master back. It's like, he'll be like, so what's the vibe of the track? Like, what are you going for? Like, do you want it to be, and I'm always like, man, I want it dynamic.
Yeah.
I want like the drops to be loud and the breakdowns to be like soft.
Yeah.
Like, so it's interesting the way he sort of looks at music and stuff. So, but I'm definitely keen to try try a Klaus master, as they call it.
Yeah.
Cool. So how was that doing the radio edit? version then? Like, was that
It was
something? Because I've never really done a.
yeah, it was pretty easy, man. I pretty much had my stems that were there, like solid, ready to go.
Yeah, yeah. You just had
And
to
yeah,
edit
just
the way it
brought them
flows.
down and yeah, chopped and changed it a little bit and
Less,
happy days.
Yeah, less intro, outro, less.
Yeah,
You know, like,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like basically you take like 45 seconds off the start and minute off the end, and yeah, I think there was like an extended bit in one of the drops that I sort of like just
compressed it.
cut
Well,
that out. And
compressed is not a good word to use in,
Yeah, no.
in music production. Like, you made it smaller or shorter.
made it more compact.
Yeah, compact. That's the word I was looking for. Compressed is not the right word to use.
Yeah.
And so, you know, with doing that radio edit, is that something that you think in the future maybe that you'll do for your tracks or for the label or something? Is that something you
Depending on the style of the track.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sort of like upload our stuff into like AMRAP and that sort of thing to get like the community radio stations to play our stuff for the label. So occasionally I will sort of cut edits, like I'll cut an edit out of what people have sent us.
Yeah.
Just to have that like 3-minute 30 long one that is radio friendly.
Yeah.
But like unless it's a sort of really vocal track, there's not really much point in making a radio edit.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Like if some people will pick it up, some people won't. But yeah, like Took a Bite definitely has more vocal in it, so it was like it is kind of radio friendly. So it was.
Where'd you get the vocal from for that?
I actually stumbled across a sample pack.
Yeah.
That was I can't even remember which side it was off, but it definitely it wasn't like a Splice or anything.
Yeah,
it was like one of those other ones, because I try and avoid the one that everyone
uses,
always going through. Like
there's so much on it though, like Splice.
Yeah.
But it's like it's too much almost.
Yeah.
I find it really hard if you're looking for something specific.
Yeah.
Difficult, man.
There's like especially vocals.
Yeah.
Like I'm really picky as to what I want to put in there.
Yep.
Yeah, like when me and Sarah did My Mind, I think she probably hated me by the end of it because I had exactly how I wanted her to sing it, and she wanted to sing it in a different way. And
man, don't worry, we know about working with vocalists in here in the studio. Yeah,
but yeah, like I kind of get set really like in a way that that's how I want to get.
How I want it to sound.
Yeah. And like I stumbled across this pack with like these really whispery vocals in it, and yeah, like it would have been sick to record it with somebody, but it's really hard to find vocalists that you can sort of get to do what you want. Like without
and it's hard to find. I find that it's you've either got people who have very little or no experience.
Yeah.
And that's really difficult to work with them because they've got no little experience.
Or the ones that are really good.
Really good, and they want...
I can't afford.
Yeah, they want thousands of dollars for a track. And it's like, well, so I find it's really hard, that middle ground, to find people like you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's sort of like the problem that I've had, like have sort of hunted for somebody that I can work with that's happy to work on lesser rate, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But like I know that they're not going to be the best of the best. But it's just hard to find that one.
You need to find people who are like on your level. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Where it's like we'll both put this out, you know, and if it works, we both
win.
Benefit. Whereas if you know, like you have other artists and stuff, they're like, nah, I just want a fee. Yeah, like I just want to be paid.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like so I stumbled across that pack, and it was like this like experimental vocal, and it was like real like Billie Eilish whispery sort of like vibe, and I was like, this is sick. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I'm gonna buy it anyway and see where I end up with it. And yeah, well, like Took a Bite and my next track, Rolling Away, that's like the same chick's vocals, and I just basically chopped up the...
You have to hit it. You have to find out who the chick is.
I've been digging for it, like trying to like, I've gone back through this thing.
Yeah.
And like all I could find was that the guy who made the pack, it was his sister, and that's what it says in the blurb, and I can't find anything more than that. I'm like, I just want to know.
Yeah, you should figure that out. That's cool, man. That you know, you just stumbled across it. Man, I struggle always to find vocal
So do I,
packs
man.
and
So
samples, like vocal samples and stuff.
and like that just worked well, and
Ones that aren't like haven't been overused and shit like that too.
and
Like,
that's
original
the thing
shit.
is there's a lot out there that have been overused, and that's kind of why
That's
when
the
I
problem,
look for a vocal sample, if I don't have a vocalist, I don't look on Splice.
Yeah.
Because I know that there's definitely a few tracks that I've heard that are Splice vocals, and
yeah, man, it's interesting because like a heap of like G house and like techie G house tunes. I I had all these tunes and I was like, found this I think it said I can't remember the name of it, but it's a G house fucking vocal pack.
Yeah.
And like and I listened to all these samples in it. And I'm like, oh, that's from this tune.
Yeah.
That's from this tune. And literally like every sample in that pack has been used like multiple times. I'm like, oh, that's where they got that sample from. Like, and it's like just literally like I'm going through, oh, that's from that track. That's from that track.
Yeah.
That's from that track. Like heaps, man. Like just but I mean like great samples though. Like there's some cool ones in there. That I think I used one on one of my tracks, Bless You.
Yeah.
It's like sneeze on the mic, that's how I bless you. Like, and it's like it's hilarious. But when you find those sample packs that you're like, oh, you're just everyone's used this pack. Yeah, that's where all those samples have come from this one genre that I found. So it's always crazy with that. And how did you get into production then? Did you?
Well, like when I was living with LP for a little bit, and we had the Arctic Zoo thing. Me and him, he more so was like making some like little edits for us to use in the radio show and whatnot. And we lived there together, so I was sitting there right behind him watching what he was doing,
just learning a bit.
And like I was like, well, why not give it a go myself? So started chipping away, and probably the first like 20 odd tracks that I tried to write were just terrible, really.
Mate, everyone's first 20 tracks or whatever are terrible. Actually, except for someone now I've forgotten who I was talking to. Buster Flocks last week. He's got a label coming, and he said there's this one dude that he's signed for the label. He said like it's his first track, but he didn't like do one track and move on. He's like he was
finessed it.
Worked on it. And then the dude, because he told me about that, and I commented and went, oh, I'd love to hear it or whatever. And then the dude sent it to me, the track, like the guy who wrote it, and I was like, man, that's a sick first track.
No, I fully respect like crew that like can sit there and like smash out like that one and just really like
keep
nail
working on it.
Yeah, like the first track I released was like, I don't know, it was like this weird like, well, not tribal, but like it had like heaps of bongos. It was like real housey sort of like thing. And it had like the piano and whatnot, but like definitely so different to what I'd make now. But it was kind of just something that it was the first one that actually sort of came together that was a track, I guess you could a proper track.
You actually finished it.
Yeah.
Or it actually had like, it wasn't just a fucking loop.
Yeah,
that's always the way you like write a loop. Or
and then like after that I did Out of Sight, and that was like my friend who lives over in the UK. She did the vocals for it. Like I sent it to her as just an instrumental.
Yeah,
and she's like, "Oh, can I write that?" And I was like, "Yeah, sweet." So she recorded over there, and then like this is before I was sort of like doing any of my audio engineering or anything. So like I listen to those tracks now, and I'm just like, oh, could have done with some more work.
Yeah,
but, like,
everyone has that. Like. I listen to a heap of like old stuff. I'm like, it's all right, but it's like, I could do way better. It's the same even to like now. Like you start something and then you start something a month later and you're like, I don't want to work on that other old track. I want to work on this because it's way better. Like it's that trap you fall into.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like I was saying like earlier, like like I'll be writing tracks and like sometimes I'll just get up to a block and I'll put it to the side. So like I know right now on my computer I've probably got 5 or 6 tracks that are like pretty much just drum tracks with like a little bit of extra stuff in them that I can sort of open back up, and if I've got a new idea I can just sort of start writing.
I love doing that too. Like you said, you write tracks that maybe you don't use or whatever, but maybe it's got a good like the drums are cool still.
Yeah, man.
So you
Yeah.
can just delete everything else,
Just keep that.
keep the
and
drums,
See what
and
you
you've
can
got a
rework
basic
it.
structure of a song.
Yeah.
And then all you got to do is like write a bass line,
Yeah.
add a lead, put pad, transitions. Like, so good, man. I love
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a good, like, little
Yeah.
technique, I suppose.
Oh,
Not
for
really a
sure.
technique, it's strategy,
And
whatever
like
you wanna call it.
with what I've sort of been doing more lately to like, because I do write that drum track first, I'm sort of like getting tracks that I love and using the structure for that.
Yeah.
And like where like the hats would change up to like keep the groove and whatnot. And
Yeah,
just
yeah.
sort of working with that sort of similar structure, and then
Yeah.
just like delete that track out, and then you've got that core of it ready to
Yeah,
go.
the structure there, yeah.
Yeah. And it just sort of takes a bit of the thinking out of it.
It's always good when you can just get to the core of making the
Yeah.
vibe,
Otherwise,
the
like
track.
I'll be writing the drum track and I'll put way too much effort into it, and it's turned into like this 7-minute long track, and like
Yeah.
nothing against 7-minute long songs, but a lot of people now have a hard time.
But that's before you've even added other stuff.
Exactly,
It's a 7
man.
nothing wrong with a 7-minute song.
Yeah.
But a 7-minute just drum track?
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta add all the other stuff.
Epic drum solo right there.
Yeah. That'd be hectic. Have you done any of that? Like, do you do any recording of drum stuff? Like, can you still play drums?
Sorta. I can sort of still
Sorta
play.
Kinda.
Yeah. Yeah, like last trimester at uni, I jumped on the kit and sort of recorded like a bit of a drum loop, but it wasn't anything too crazy.
Yeah.
But it was more just to actually get the sounds recorded and resample them and whatnot. Like,
Yeah.
I do enjoy, taking those sort of aspects and, creating my own thing with it.
Yeah.
I guess that's why I bought the 808 or the TR08, like the replica ones that roll.
Yes. Is it the small?
Yeah, it's about yay big, and yeah.
Oh, so is it, no, so you're talking about the
The TR08, yeah.
TR08. Yeah. Not the little 808, the little tiny ones that they started doing, the boutique.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Oh, it is that one?
Yeah,
So it's the real small one?
Yeah.
It's not the green and black.
Oh, it's like, yes,
one.
like, nah.
Not that one, yeah.
Yeah, it's the little like boutique one, yeah.
Yeah,
So
and how
like,
is that?
It's sick, man. The sounds that you can get out of it, just like so good.
Yeah.
Like, I can understand.
Because it's got some 909 stuff in it as well, I think, doesn't it?
Nah, that one, it's just a straight 808.
Okay, yeah.
But like you can program all the sounds, like that's the part that I like the most, is like you can sit there and tune what you want out of it. Like, so if you want a big fat bassy kick, like you can get that. Like, and you can get that click at the top too, just so that it does have that like punch through. So like it's super cool to work with that. And just like all the different sounds in there.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, it's so like, it's just been a different approach to, I guess, instead of just sitting there in front of the computer.
Yeah, that's always good to be able to get out and actually touch stuff.
Yeah, man.
Like, feel
for
stuff.
sure. Like, yeah, the amount of stuff, like, and I bought a little one of those Korg new bass.
Okay, yeah.
Because I'm like, I froth that like acid sound.
Yeah.
So like, I couldn't really go wrong with it. Like,
yeah, of course, yeah.
But yeah, so like even like little samples of that, I've just used that for heaps of stuff that I've been working on. Just like
some little bits.
Just sampling bits and pieces, like not using the whole thing, just like that little bit.
Yeah, I've got the I can't remember what it's the Roland no, Roland Studio Electronics. Let me grab it. Yeah, it's a Roland. It's the SEO2.
Oh yeah.
For everyone that's watching, the SEO2, and it's it's just a little synth. Like, I love little. It's a bass synth mainly.
Sick.
It's like a Moog.
Yeah.
But I actually love that it's so small.
Yeah.
And you can just have it next to you on the desk, like you can, and you can play with it, sort of thing, and you don't have to like have a big.
Massive setup.
No one can. You guys can't see this, but the walls. We've got a heap of synths.
Wall of synth.
So yeah, I think it's interesting to, have stuff you can touch and play with, and it's easier to do those little build-up things because
and
you've got
just
two hands.
Fine tuning.
You've got two hands instead of a mouse is one.
Yeah.
So you can actually change multiple things. And the cool thing about this is that it actually you can plug in USB and it's analog. but it's got digital control.
Sick.
So you can actually like automate the parameters on it, but it's still analog. So it's
wow.
Yeah, through the MIDI clips and stuff in Ableton. So
That's unreal.
Yeah, hectic, man. To be able to do that is like mental. Let's have a quick break though, and then we'll come back and keep going.
Sounds good, man.
All right, so we're back. Had a little break and that, and so I want to talk a little bit about maybe the future, what some of your goals are and stuff. Like, what have you got planned for?
So much.
Yeah, because you mentioned it before that you've got
Yeah.
all these goals and stuff. So what are you thinking? What would you love to do, or what's some goals that you've
Like,
set for yourself?
Big, like my main goals really like is, well, one's to just like keep just ticking away with the music and like writing stuff that I love.
Yeah.
Like not really set to what genre it is. Like if I chop and change, like it is what it is. Like everything's gonna go with your tastes. I don't want to be writing music that I hate. But at the end of the day, which I don't right now. I love everything that I'm sort of working on, so it's good. But yeah, other than that, like building the label, and really sort of like helping, like especially like artists that starting out but like writing really good stuff. Like I want to be able to like help them sort of like push through and like get that first release out and help, I guess, like I don't know, help them with the hurdles that were like hard for me in the beginning to like put stuff out. So like building the label, and I did want to I want to look at setting my own studio up, like for people to come in and so like it'd be like the sort of kind of music like studio. Probably down on the coast, like that's
Man,
that
I can definitely run you through that kind of shit. Actually next week on Friday, Johnny, who owns a studio with us, he's going to come in and have a chat. We're going to talk about all that stuff because he's been on before, but it was when we were in the old studio. So now we've gone through a whole process of setting this place up, and we're moving soon to set another place up. So it's something that we've had to learn a lot about. Like the sound treatment and room size and everything.
For sure.
And so that'll be a cool one to listen to, I think. Because
I'll definitely be
we'll
catching up on that one for sure.
Yeah, anyone who wants to learn a bit more about, and that's what we'll focus on in that one because he's already been on. So if people want to know about his musical journey and past and all that kind of stuff, they can just go back and listen.
And I guess that's like with me, like I guess that's why like when my missus like sort of suggested to me like to go and do the degree and give it a go, that was kind of like the end goal. So it's like I've got that audio engineering background, and then I'll have, if I've got the studio there, then it's like something that keeps me rolling like down the track, keeps me involved in the music and enjoying myself and getting to work with rad people all the time.
That's it.
And like I love that, like just
even if you're not working on your own music and you're like helping someone else with music, it's still enjoyable.
100%, man. 100%. Like I obviously haven't been doing it like that super long time, but I've been lucky enough to have some really, really good influences around me, like in the way of like getting feedback, like I mentioned before, like with Kyle Watson's little like Patreon thing, and like guys like Wonga I talked to get some feedback. Color Castle, Christian with Hot Sunday. Craig Roberts has been massive for me. Like he's like the best with feedback. Like breaks things down to exactly how I understand. Like it needs to be tougher. Righto. All right. How am I gonna make this?
Yeah, for sure.
But like having like people that have been around for a long time and just know what needs to be done.
They can give you their opinion and stuff.
For sure, man. It's
and
huge.
Actually, like it's a good opinion.
It's
someone you trust.
Like if you surround yourself with people that are like amazing at what they do, then you don't really have anywhere else to go but up. So it's something that I've always like tried to put myself in the position of, you know, being around people that love what they do and have that drive and that passion to, you know, be the best they can.
Yeah. Such a cliche saying,
I
but
know.
it's cliche because it's true.
Exactly, you know, man. Like it's
I always say that, like, sayings are cliche because they're true.
And it's like the older you get, the more these things like just come into play, and you're like, oh wow, like I remember people saying that, but
like forever.
I didn't believe it at all. And then
you're like, it's so true, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why this is so great, like, to be able to do the podcast and stuff, is because like I get to hang out with people every week that are, you know, like inspired and passionate and like into, you know, motivated to do stuff. So that's, you know, I get that little added bonus, you know, from talking to people every week. And then it's like someone tells you a little story or a technique or something. You go, oh man, I need to get it and write it.
Go try that.
Or, oh, I need to. Yeah, it just helps to keep you, you know, motivated and that.
Like, I had Wongo come over during COVID after he did his big live stream, and we did like a bit of like a production lesson. Just went over like all my tracks that I was working on. And like he just gave me a couple of these like little points on like with my kick that just changed everything. Like just made it tougher and grittier and just.
Sometimes it's those little tiny things. Like even I was just working on a collab with Art Supplies. We're working on something. And just even something in like something basic in Ableton in like instead of like in Simpler. The sampler sort of thing in Simpler, and just like the fade out and stuff. Like I'd always use the envelope to shape the sample, and he's like, "Oh man, you can use this." And it was like, checked it out, and I was like, "Now I like use it on every drum. I use that technique." Like, you know,
I love that like simpler and sampler like in Ableton. Like just being able to just take a sound that you're just frothing like and work with that and shape it, and
manipulate it, make it your own and stuff like that. Yeah, that's cool. So what's some let's do the Gimme Your Gold section where you tell us about maybe some stuff that you're loving at the moment, whether it's like techniques, plugins, sample packs, or anything like that. You at the moment you're just like, oh, I've been using this heaps, or I keep doing this.
I'm all over FabFilter, love it. Like everything that FabFilter's like got is like
I use their stuff on everything. Like the Q3, I use that for my like corrective EQ, I suppose I call it, like notching out and getting rid of stuff and getting rid of things, and then use other plugins to maybe give color and stuff.
Another one that I found myself sort of playing around with, like on certain layers of my kick, is Kick Tweak. Just to
Kick Tweak too.
I picked that one up off after I watched the Red Bull podcast with Chris Lake. Because he's obviously like, well, he's a massive influence for the stuff that I write. I love his attitude towards it, and it's pretty much just like,
it's pretty amazing.
He's just like, I'm just gonna write this, and that's how it's gonna be. And
I use Kick Tweak as well. Because who was it? Someone on the podcast mentioned it, and I grabbed it. Odd Mob mentioned it. And I think he had heard it from that podcast. Maybe. But that's a really cool one I love to use as well, just to give it a bit of different, change the kick.
100%, man. And then just trying to think of what else there is. Like there's so many things that I chop and change between. Like I will like throw that many things onto a sound and bounce it out and flatten it and do everything I can. But to completely change it, like half the time I don't even know the process that I've gone through to get to the point that it ends up at. But I guess that's the whole fun of sound design.
You just keep
you just like do it, bounce it, reverse it, chop it, like
try something else.
And like I guess
some chorus on it, like whatever you want to do.
Well, like I watched, got shown this thing at uni from one of my mates that we'd sort of done a bit of a like collab on a remix of Flume's Rushing Back. It was like a competition or something. We were like, oh, we'll use that as our like assignment because we can. So we put that together, and he sort of had like more of a trap background. I've got more of a housey background, and like came up with this like cool little edit And then he showed me this video of Flume afterwards and his process of how he goes through it. And he's just like, yep, chop it, reverse it, bounce it, like just smash it. Like, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I like that. And yeah, I guess it's just, that's the same sort of approach I take when I start just messing with sounds. Like I kind of get an idea in my head and I don't really stop until I get it. Like,
you can get it down.
The amount of times that like I sit there at like 10 o'clock at night and then I'm like, oh shit, the sun's coming up and better go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done some of that recently where I'm like just working on stuff and then I'm like, holy shit, it's getting light outside. I'm like, I got work at 7.
The birds have started. Shit.
I've got work at 7. Holy shit, I'm gonna be so tired tomorrow. Yeah. What's the time? You're like, fuck, I'm only gonna get 2 hours sleep. Like, it's the struggle, but it's you get carried away, hey.
Oh, 100%, man. Like, and I find that for me, like that sort of creative process, like, really kicks off between midnight and 2 a.m.
Yeah,
because everyone else has gone to bed. I've just got my own time. Like, there's nothing else distracting me, and I just sort of like get into this like creative zone and just hone in on what I want. And then it's like, oh yeah, no, that worked.
Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, that's always the way. You know, you get stuck into it, and then it's like it just happens. Yeah, definitely. So Sorta Kinda music. How did you guys come up with that name?
So
for it,
like I was saying earlier with your shot, me and my buddy Mitch, we were doing your shot together as a duo, and we hadn't thought of a name yet, but we'd got that message that night saying you've been accepted, come in tomorrow. Shit, we've got to think of a name. We actually went out that night and ran into Talina. And Talina asked Mitch, she's like, oh, have you thought of any names yet? And he was just like, oh, yeah, Sorta Kinda. We've like got a couple that we've got going. She's like, oh, Sorta Kinda's cool. And we were like, oh, yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
And so we ran with that for that. And then, because after your shot, he sort of like bailed on DJing and I stuck with it.
His own thing,
Yeah, but I still had a sticker on my on one of my monitors.
Yeah.
And so when I was trying to think of a name, that was there. And I was like, nah, I can't use that. I can't use that. I can't use that. But it was the only thing that I kept going back to.
Yeah.
So I like ran with that. And then, when obviously me and Sarah sort of kicked off and like started it, threw the name at her and she's like, yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
So, we just hit the ground running with that.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then the cactus and the skull thing.
What's the vibe there?
So the second track that I ever released, which was called Out of Sight, I was working at Jet Pilot at the time. And so I hit up one of the designers. I was just like, dude, I need a design for the cover. I don't know what to do. You're a designer. How much is it going to cost me? Blah, blah, blah. And he's just like, well, what do you want? I was like, I don't know.
He's like, I don't know.
I'm like, think of like a 3-day bender and you're at Sunday Arvo and you want to keep partying, but you can't really.
Yeah.
And so he's come back with like the skull with the like blunt roll and I was like, I'm like, we're kind of getting there. I'm like, can we, I don't know, you've got a crack in the skull. Could you do a cactus or something coming out of it? Like the dude's toast, like, and he's like, oh yeah, sweet, man. So he came back with that. And then, so that was actually the cover on that.
That track,
Yeah. And so, when I like came up with the name and I was like, oh, well, I'll start working with that. So pulled out the old cover and cut all the extra stuff out of it. And
it's a cool fucking little logo and shit.
Yeah, it was like, it just sort of like, I guess it kind of just worked for what the name was. You can do
Mexican themed parties too.
Yeah.
Like when you do a studio thing.
And that was like why
we're getting Mexican for the party. Yeah.
And that was like why with the podcast that like we were doing, I was like, oh, we'll call it Club Cactus because we've got the cactus. And then, before I knew it, I had like all these inflatable cactuses and flamingos and all sorts of stuff. And I was just like, whoa, this is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
But
that's it. You just run with it. Oh, that's cool. I'll get that. I'll get that too. I'll get that. Yeah.
And everything was taking so long to get delivered, you'd forgotten what you'd actually ordered.
I love that. I remember I had a shirt turn up one day and I was like, when, like what? And then I remembered that I was drunk one time in the studio, like just on the couch or something when Johnny was working on the tune or something. I remember like opening my phone
scrolling.
And, yeah, it was like an Instagram ad for some shirt or something. I'm like, yeah, that looks cool. I'll buy that. And then it turns up and I'm like, what? What's this? Like, I think it had like the DMT molecule on the front and shit. Like, it was hectic, man. I was like, that looks cool. I'll get that.
There's so often though you find when you like buy those shirts that they're just the wrong size. Like,
I don't have that much trouble with it because I'm already like, you know, a small Asian dude.
Yeah.
I fit small Asian clothes.
Fair,
so it's
fair.
fine. Like, you know, like I can order a small or a medium and it actually fits because I'm the same body type as
I swear
the Asian country where they're making it.
I swear every time I order one, if I order a large, it's like a little fucking crop top on me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem, man. Like, yeah, sizing internationally. I don't really have that problem, so I'm lucky.
Lucky.
Yeah. That's it. And so like we were talking in the break a little bit. We were talking about that, you know, you watched last week's podcast and you said that, you know, with Busterflux, Jake, being in like a polyamorous relationship, and you said, oh, that's on that same vibe with me and my partner and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. Like the coincidence that 2 weeks in a row randomly, we've had people on there. So like, you know, with, in that, you know, similar situation or the way they you know run their relationships, whatever it is. So how did you get into that kind of a, you know, situation or relationship, or how did you?
It was more just I guess me and my partner had like a conversation a fair while ago now. It's like 2 years ago or so.
Yeah.
Like we've been together for 4 years, so like we're solid as like literally couldn't ask for a better person in my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it just sort of came up in conversation and just thought we'd see how it'd all go and see how it'd all pan out.
Yeah. Is it something that you sort of came like?
No, it was actually her. It was actually her that like came to me like with the question. And you know, I wasn't against it. So I was like, let's give it a go. And just Yeah.
And so it's all going well?
All super sweet, man. It's we like have our own time together, like that we go do whatever and do our own thing.
That's it, yeah.
Do our thing as a couple as well. So
that's the thing, man. It sounds pretty freeing, to be honest.
It really is, man. It takes a lot of pressure off. Well, just in life generally, like, because, you know, so many people are sitting there worried about, you know, what if, and
what's my partner doing? And
exactly. And like, I guess working in nightclubs and all that, you got it right in front of you a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And, like my partner's work, she did 10 years working in bars and managing venues and whatnot. So she
gets that too.
She knows what's up. Like, but yeah, so like I guess it's freeing for everybody. Like not having to worry about what is happening. And like we're super open and honest and, you know, forward with everything that we're doing. So yeah.
That seems like that's the biggest thing that you have to sort of do is you have to be
for sure, man.
Open and honest about stuff.
If you can't be like open and honest, then it's not gonna work. Like
yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Yeah, that's crazy that you know, like I said, 2 weeks in a row. And it's not even planned.
It definitely seems to be like becoming a little bit more like of a common thing. I think a lot of people are sort of just like starting to like break out of what was the norm for so long.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So much like, you know, influence from like religion and you know, past like just society in general.
Yeah, man. 100%.
Just what they think. It's like, man, we can change the rules.
Yeah.
If we want to change
we'll
it,
just
we can
bend these
change
a little bit. Like
So that's interesting then, man. And so like, are you seeing anyone else at the moment then? Is there like
No, I'm not. But yeah, like if whatever comes along, like you know, it's like
that's the thing about it, man. Like it doesn't seem like something where you actually are like you have to go out.
It's not like you're sitting there hunting for
For more partners or anything. It's like
it
if I
literally
find someone, it's
like
cool.
takes the pressure off like life in general. Like
Yeah.
it's I guess it's not like when you are single and you're like, oh yeah, no, I'm like super keen on that person. Like I'm gonna like pursue it super hard. Like if it is what it is, and like I'm a very go with the flow type dude. Like I'm pretty chill.
Yeah.
So yeah, if like something comes along and it's something worth sort of like getting to know and pursuing and
for sure.
then it's all good. But I guess it's you're not missing out on a what if opportunity in life then.
Yeah.
And like with my partner, like it's we're, as I said, like super close, and like you kind of know that like that's my person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Like she's, like I said, she's probably the most rad girl I've ever met in my life. So I can't really go wrong.
That's right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's it's interesting to meet. And to be honest, when I put that I posted about it initially, saying, is there anyone in this, because I kind of like talking about things that people don't talk about. Yeah. Or don't, it's not out there.
Well, like even for us, like we've kept it pretty low key. Like our like friendship circle sort of knows. Yeah. But it's not something we sort of like plaster out everywhere. And
except for the podcast where you've
right now, that's
exactly.
Slightly different. But
I did ask him before if we could talk about this. I didn't just totally out him on a podcast. It's all good. That's but so a lot of people reached out, like, and we're like, I do that, like, can we do that? And but a lot of people were also like, don't really want to talk about it on a podcast because it's not talked about and people don't get it, and it's not,
100%, man.
Totally makes sense.
And like from like my mates' point of view, like the dude mates that I have that do know, like their questions are like more like a judgy sort of question. It's like, oh, like that's not that bad, dude. Like you just got to change your mind frame. Yeah. Whereas like girls are actually seem more accepting of it than guys.
Interesting, interesting dynamic there. You would, I don't know. I would have thought it would. I don't know. Maybe it's because of like the general societal thing of it's like that's my girl, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's that's I guess the mentality for a lot of people.
But then again, like girls would be like, that's my man. So it's like that doesn't really work. So I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason.
Each to their own at the end.
Exactly. So what do we got coming up from you? Like music or so we've got some releases coming.
I've got
we're going to listen to soon.
Got one track that's like good to go. That's locked and loaded. That's going to be November 16th. Obviously, Took a Bite just come out on Thursday. So anyone that's watching this, go give it a listen.
Go check it out. It's really dope, man. I was really impressed by it, actually. Like because I've listened to all your tracks and the progression. It's definitely like a really dope track and a good progression.
And that's the thing is like COVID's been such a big progression curve for me. Like I've been able to really hone in on what I wanted to make and how I wanted it to sound, and I sort of took a step back and listened to a lot of other music that I take influence from, and like just breaking it down into what it had and what
analyzing
I was missing. Like because a lot of my other tracks, they were, I guess, a bit more minimalistic in the way, like certain aspects, like just like more so like textures and stuff that just weren't there. Like it was, but like I guess as my music's matured, it's all sort of started coming together, and there's bits and pieces that I'm adding in now that I wouldn't have added in before. Yeah, but it pulls it all together. Especially if you're trying to write like a club track that you want to be like pumping. Yeah. It needs that movement the whole way through. You don't want it to get boring.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the hardest thing, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's easy to make loops and then add layers, but to make it actually progress
and have that flow. I guess that's been the biggest sort of like learning curve for me, is just working on that groove and the flow of the track.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've got those like a couple of tracks locked in. Yeah, like at the moment, like post COVID, where I'm sort of like trying to get back into
the kind of post COVID still. It's like, it's weird though, isn't it? Because it's like
this weird spot.
You can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but
it's so far away at the same time.
It's so far away, but like at the same time, it's like you could like it could all just go to shit again.
Yeah, 100%. Like the stadium like last night at like up here, it was just like
that was actually a fuck up. Hey, like everyone's like they actually fucked up.
It was like a ticket thing.
I've literally seen like everyone posting about it, and I'm like, well, yeah, they fucked up. Yeah, it wasn't. They didn't plan to do that.
They didn't plan to have a massive
to have 20,000 people out there, but. And like, you know, I'll take a lot of flack for saying this, but it's not. People got to understand that it's not actually about stopping the spread and it's about reducing the risk. And so, an event at a stadium that goes for 3 hours,
that's outdoors,
is, you know, to allow that to happen, compared to allowing all the nightclubs where everyone's drinking, same drinks, dancing, sweaty, in
super
contact,
close to either.
making out, even like, you know, 3 nights, 4 nights a week for huge numbers of hours. The risk goes through the roof.
So much higher.
And then you look at the comparison to the money, like, you know, like the Suncorp, because it's about managing the risk versus the reward. And so, you know, the risk might be a bit higher for the stadium stuff, but the reward is a lot higher as well, because it's a lot more money for that short period of time. It's broadcasted throughout Australia.
It's pulling the money.
So it's pulling money and eyes and everything. So like I understand everyone's frustration about, you know, oh, how come they get to do this and we can't do this? But I think we really need to remember that our friends in Melbourne can't even fucking leave their houses. So we need to stop bitching because fucking those motherfuckers are fucking looking at us and thinking, what fucking
lucky bastards.
What lucky bastards, and they're whinging about not being able, you know. So you know, I see all the sides of the story.
I'm the same, man.
And but at the same time, I'm sort of like, come on, guys, just chill out a bit.
We're
like,
so close, but
we're so close to getting there. Let's just all keep, you know, doing the things we need to do to get there, and you know, maybe we'll do some weddings or something at some venues. You know, like, but
that's well. Now
I think everyone needs to chill. Like, we've got it pretty good, and we're working.
As of November,
something.
They should just have weddings in every venue every weekend. Then everyone can dance.
Someone gets married that night. Just have an annulment the next day. There's ways around this, fam. We got this.
We got this. 100%.
Someone just starts a new club called the Wedding Club. The Wedding House, or something like that.
Who's got a venue?
Hit us up. Let's start it. But yeah, like, you know, I haven't said this online yet or anything, and this will be the first time that I'm saying it. But I think people need to maybe just check themselves a little bit, and I understand that it's it's, you know, it's fucked our industry.
It's frustrating for everyone. Like
I mean, I understand it's fucked our industry for a lot of people, and it's really hurt a lot of people, but. At the end of the day, we've got it pretty good, compared to a lot of places.
Oh yeah, man, for sure.
So
like I think on the other hand too, like after all this is done and dusted, like you're gonna find that the people that want to be in this industry are the ones that are gonna stick around.
Yeah.
So it's probably only doing us all a favor.
It's like a reset.
Yeah, it's like the full stop reset, and you know.
Yeah.
Now everybody that's still here are the ones that want to make music, want to push what they're doing. Like,
it's not just about being the person on the stage.
Yeah,
being, you know, with the DJ,
just dropping bangers all
cool.
night.
Yeah, it's not about just being the cool person on stage. You actually do. When all that goes away, you still love the music.
Yeah,
you know.
And like I guess that's something that I sort of look at with myself. Like I'm not a big show person. Like on stage, like. I am fully just like into what I'm playing, and kind of more so get lost in
the vibe
in that. Then like I'm dancing away to what that's going on.
Yeah,
obviously reading a room as best I can as well at the same time. Like, I'm more in it for the actual music and like playing stuff that I think's dope.
Yeah, exactly, man. Because like so you must be an 87 model.
Yeah,
as well. Same.
Nailed it.
I'm an 87 model as well. So that's so I think when I started in like 2008 ish, it was that vibe. It wasn't, you weren't the guy on the stage at the club. You were in the corner in a little booth, and it was like everyone's like, why don't you come and party and hang out with us and drink, and like you like in the corner by yourself, like with the music, and I'm like, you don't get it. I love the music. Like you don't understand. You don't understand. Yeah.
I remember playing like little like house parties when I first started, and like everyone's like, "Oh, just put a mix or something on, like, and then come drink." And it's like, "Oh, nah, it's all good. I got this. So I'll have another drink here. You guys can come stand with me, but I'm gonna keep playing the music." Like,
yeah.
I don't want to go out there with everybody else now.
Yeah, I used to do pub gigs. And I'd go and hang with people, and I had a little wireless controller.
Yeah.
Like MIDI controller.
Yeah.
So I could like go like 10 meters from the decks and like sit down and have a beer with some people. But just like, and it just had like a few buttons, a knob.
Yeah.
And so I'd make the knob the crossfader.
Yeah.
To cross between two tracks. Because it's a pub,
Yeah.
I'm just playing like, rock tunes or
Pubby
whatever.
music.
So, yeah. So it's like you don't have to actually like mix shit. So you can just sort of like drop something as long as you know like
what's coming.
So you can go for a couple of songs and go and
enjoy yourself,
have a beer or whatever, and then head back up and stuff. Yeah, so that was always really fun.
That's pretty solid.
To I think Wellington Point Hotel, maybe I did that a few times. Yeah. But that's a cool little piece of kit, that thing I've got, but I don't use it enough. I don't even know where it is, to be honest.
I guess you kind of like once, like obviously you're not playing as many pubs now. Like So like
I don't even know when I played a pub last.
Yeah, so like I guess you get to that point where you want to be behind the decks the whole time because you've got that set flow happening.
That's true.
Like
the only other time I've used it was when I did my mate's wedding.
Yeah.
And it was for the ceremony.
Yep.
So I was actually sitting in the crowd.
Perfect.
And I had the deck set up and like behind with the thing, and like as they're like walking down, I'm just like, bang, play.
Yeah,
like,
that's
trigger
the
it.
go.
And then like the next song was like, all right, turn it, bang, like like, it was perfect, man.
That definitely sounds like the perfect like wedding like DJ like thing that you need.
Yeah.
Like,
but it wasn't at the actual like reception. It was at the ceremony.
Yeah.
So I was actually sitting in the in the ceremony, and I didn't have to be overdoing whatever. So that was cool. So mate, where can we find Sorta Kinda music?
Yeah.
And where can we find Damo Cox, your socials and things?
Yeah, so like, obviously our website, like if you've got any demos and stuff, like if you go onto sortakindamusic.com, demos can be submitted through the site. They come straight to me and Sarah then, and
I suppose like for the Sorta Kinda music, if you've got the website, just go there and you'll find all the links to the socials and stuff there.
Yeah, so pretty much all our socials are Sorta Kinda music, just as one word. So Twitter, Facebook, Insta.
That's easy to find.
Easy as. And then for myself, pretty much same goes. Like I've got the damocox.com and all the socials are on there. But pretty much everything's either like Damo Cox or DJ Damo Cox.
Easy to find.
Me.
Yeah, that's it. Well, thanks for coming in, man. I have tried to get Sarah in a few times already.
Yeah. She's a busy woman. She's a very busy woman.
It's fallen through a few times. She's actually going to come on. I asked her because like I was a few weeks ago, I was like, oh, the 69th episode's coming up. I'm like, who's going to be on the episode 69? Like, and then I was like, fuck, I was like, and I messaged Sarah, I'm like, this might be a bit cheeky, but would you want to come on for episode 69? And she's like, that's so on brand for me.
Yeah,
100%. She's like, that's, I was like, cool. I was like, I thought you'd enjoy that, but it fell through. So she wasn't episode 69, so you missed out, Sarah. You could have been episode 69, but you weren't.
She's like absolute gold for that sort of those moments. Like,
love Sarah. Love everything she does. So, but yeah, thanks for coming in, man.
All good, man. It's been a good time.
I hope to see some more tunes, coming out from yourself and Sorta Kinda music. And like I've already spoken to you, I'm going to start sending some tracks to you.
Yeah.
See if there's anything you vibe. So let's fire up this rig and
sounds good, man.
Some music, man. Thanks for coming in.
Sweet, brother.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Catch you guys. Have a good one.
You.